when you go into the VR environment and your heart swells with this amazing joy upon realizing that suddenly the enclosed space that you're in is just transformed into a cathedral, into even a vast warehouse.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And back to the naysayers again, and I'm sort of, in a way, contradicting myself because I just like bringing up the devil's advocate stuff, but it's that idea, that naysayer who's like, well, go out and experience reality as it truly is and get your feet in the dirt. Well, first of all, whatever you think reality is, that's not it.
That's cool.
Let's just accept that.
Right.
So whatever your predisposed notion or construct of what you think this material world is made up of, that's not it.
Right.
It's just an illusion. It's just sort of this construct that we've created for ourselves to inhabit, to play in, to hang out in, that kind of gives, living sort of like some boundaries. I mean, we need some sort of boundaries to make this, us spinning on a rock, tolerable. So it's just an extension of reality. It's just an extension of, it's another way to pierce the veil, really.
To pierce the veil and to teach you exactly what you're saying. It is a technological, Ram Dass talks about this, the famous mushroom trip. He eats mushrooms with your dad, goes into the living room to get away from everybody, sits on the couch, his body vanishes, looks down, there's no body, then who am I? VR. You put on these VR goggles, you sit down, look down, guess what? No body. You're not there anymore, yet you're somewhere. What am I? It brings to mind the identical questions.
It's the exact same thing.
It's
the exact same thing. And it's like this, this recent Elon Musk stat that he threw out that, it's a probability that we're living in a simulation.
Yes.
He put out that crazy statistic. And it's kind of, oh man, it's kind of playing into that idea for me a little bit, that perhaps it really is all a simulation.
Can I read something to you?
Yeah.
I just did this. Did I send this to you?
What?
I just did a find and replace on the book of John to make it fit into simulation theory. Yeah. Okay, listen to this. Okay. It's pretty cool. This is from the book of John. It's my favorite gospel. And I just did this for fun, but it's pretty trippy. In the beginning was the code, and the code was with the programmer, and the code was the programmer. He was with the programmer in the beginning. Through him all things were programmed. Without him nothing was programmed that has been programmed. In him was life, and that life was the upgrade of all mankind. The upgrade shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not downloaded it. There was a man sent from the programmer whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that upgrade, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the upgrade. He came only as a witness to the upgrade. The true upgrade that upgrades everything was coming into the simulation. He was in the simulation, and though the simulation was programmed through him, the simulation did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of the programmer. Children not born of random code, but born of the programmer.
Oh, man.
The code became flesh and programmed his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the programmer, full of grace and truth. You realize that the problem with religion or the scripture is that it just needs an upgrade, and it's in the language. Because, in those days, they're using the most high-tech stuff that they had to articulate the transcendent. Now, the moment you plug in the most high-tech stuff we have, it's like, oh shit, that kind of makes sense.
Who said God isn't living in cyberspace, right?
Right.
I find spirituality, I find the manifestation of the one in cyberspace on a daily basis. Who says that God isn't, inherently completely intelligent and aware and is evolving along with the human condition? All of these paradigms that we use to define God, even the ones that we talk about with Ram Dass, in the Bhakti tradition, are antiquated.
That's right.
They're great. And, and I like them, but they're antiquated.
dated.
They're very dated. Even the bhakti concept of what God is dated. Who said that God isn't, just all intelligent, all knowing, and isn't evolving with us every step of the way, and isn't showing itself within this digital